Yeah, absolutely. And final question we'll leave to Marcus, watching us live at home via YouTube. Do you prefer the mask or no mask? And I know that you don't particularly like the latest promo graphic from Progress, but are we ever likely to see the mask return? Kid Lykos under a mask, or are you happy with the way things are?
Even if I was unhappy, it's not going to return because that would be disrespectful to what I value of the traditions. I think people outside of Mexico and Japan, or even sometimes in Japan, to be honest, but in Mexico especially, like the tradition is, it's an honor to wear that mask, and if you wage that mask and you lose that mask, you can't return to that mask. And that I love, literally, right? I really respect that style of professional wrestling. I would never want to disrespect the traditions that have been going on far longer than I've been alive. And I think Western wrestlers, especially, sometimes just pick and choose what the rules are. And that's not to say that they're rules that have to be followed, but I value that tradition. I value the friends I've made in Mexican wrestling who have taught me a lot of the things, like from like Angelico passing on like Yarbeo style techniques to just speaking to different varied talents, like from when Flamita and Bandido were around, and even down to like the respect of culture that they have, like on the Coast to Coast tour in 2018. I obviously got my collarbone broken in a match in Boston. The next day on the tour with travel was Seattle, so the Defy venue years ago, and I didn't get to do it because I was injured. I had to stay in New York for surgery, and Bandido and Flamita were meant to wrestle myself and Brooks. The match changed. They wrestled someone else. They obviously got the money thrown at the end because they were both incredible, and because of the culture that they were raised in and the respect they have, they passed that money on to me because I couldn't make money that day. They gave me all the money they made from their fantastic professional wrestling performance. They passed that on to me because I would need it more than them. And that's why I would never disrespect the culture of where they're from. So the mask, even if I was unhappy, wouldn't return. What do I prefer? Depends on the circumstance. I prefer not wearing a mask as far as my breathing, because it makes breathing a lot easier. Yeah. I remember the first match out of the mask, I messaged Lykos 2 immediately after I'd finished wrestling and was like, it's so much easier just breathing. Like, no one has an excuse to be blown now because I've done it in a mask and been like blown and still kept going, but then wrestling out of mask, I didn't feel it. I was actually worried my cardio might slip now that I'd lost the mask, to be honest. There's a comfort in the mask, and I hate that there seems to be like a glass ceiling for masked wrestlers in Western wrestling. Because obviously in Mexico that's not the case, and in Japan that's not the case, and rightfully so, because it shouldn't matter if you're wearing a mask or not. You're an exceptional performer. You shouldn't need to remove it to succeed. But I think I'm just getting more comfortable with wrestling without a mask. I wouldn't say I favour either or, because I have a lot of amazing moments in that mask, and I have now some amazing moments without it, but I wouldn't say I prefer either or. I think it's more still getting comfortable, like 5 months on from it.